Azisha. Another great episode loading. AMATYMA series in partnership with Botherood Radio. The conversations are flowing. The conversations are unscripted. The conversations are real. The conversations are authentic. You know, nothing here is pre-cooked, pre-baked. None of that. We have genuine conversations with men who are single, married, divorced, and widowed. And today, you are this young man that I'm going to talk to today. I met him in a WhatsApp group, a mutual WhatsApp group. It's an ACT Now. ACT Now is a gender-based violence movement that focuses on gender-based violence, and obviously there's a lot of men that are in that movement. I think it was started in 2020 during COVID. I could be wrong, but his name is OFENTSE TABANE. What's up, my brother?
What up, TT? I'm blessed to have you,
nice
man.
one, man.
This is my show today. I'm taking over.
Absolutely. I want to know you're being served. How is this? All right. Coffee. Yeah. Some people are special. You are the first guest that I've seen get coffee live and direct. Shout out to you. So, for those who don't know, who is OFENTSE TABANE?
OFENTSE TABANE, born and raised in Pretoria. I was born in Kharangua. JJ TABANE is my uncle. Yeah.
Hey, I was gonna ask, but hey, that's your uncle.
Let me answer that one before we kiss. Yeah, right. It's my uncle. Yeah, so I get that a lot.
All right, just put your headphones on. Oh, okay, cool. So I know JJ TABANE quite well.
Yes.
Him and I I don't know if he's still there, but we used to serve on the Love Life board. And I think he's the deputy chair now. I'm not sure where he's at, but that's where I actually encountered him at first, through the board, and he's quite he's like you. Now I actually know it's making sense why you're such a young opinionated man. Are you single, married, divorced?
Single, yeah.
Do you have any kids?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
You planning to?
Yes.
Okay, that's dope.
I think I'm at the right time of my life now where I can start planning to have a wife.
Yeah,
it's time.
And then career-wise, what do you do?
So I'm in purchase order funding.
Yeah.
I'm in the financial industry, and I'm a supplier as well. I'm in the industrial and mining sector too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So my company is Vortex Capital.
Vortex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We assist suppliers with financial solutions for their tenders. Private sector as well. We provide invoice discounting services as well.
That is dope.
And
that is dope, because a lot of people get awarded a tender and they get stuck because they can't break ground.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the finances, right? Because it's not like when you get a tender, you get all that money paid immediately, and people don't understand that. So you guys are okay. That's dope, man. You're the first person that I've actually met that does that. Wow. It's quite a specialized space. I mean, it's So is it micro lending of sorts, or?
Look, this is I could say it's like private loans,
right? But
with structured sessionaries that we take over.
Now this guy comes with big English. What's sessionaries, my man? Keep it simple, my man. Sessionaries. What's that? Keep it simple, my man.
You're the one with shiny nails here, my man.
This is a shiny nails.
All right.
Yeah.
Let us keep it simple.
Yeah.
I think the mic went off.
Okay, can you just is he still on? Still on.
Okay,
so still on. Okay,
basically,
you can hear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can hear. Okay, cool.
There you go. So, PO funding, you have a tender.
Right.
You bring us the purchase order or the letter of appointment.
Yeah.
And the quotations where you need to go procure the items, whether it's machines, stationery, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We then go and buy those items on your behalf. So we don't put the money in your pocket.
I see.
So it goes straight into the project.
Nice.
And then we take over your bank account for the duration of the project.
Right. Because you've already paid. Yeah.
Yes. So when the funds come, that's when we,
take what's yours.
Interest rate is,
Right. Are you guys cheaper than the banks?
Big time. But remember, the banks also have the advantage of working with PO funding companies. We don't care about credit checks.
Yeah.
We don't look at your credit
checks.
The
PO is the check.
Yes, the PO is the guarantee that,
I like that.
Yeah.
So how do people get in touch with you?
066 566 6695.
Because remember, this platform, yes, it's about men's wellness, right?
Yes.
But we also promote each other's businesses, because
thank you so much.
Financial wellness is one of the pillars of the AMATYMA Wellness Network.
Yes.
Financial wellness is actually quite, an interesting one, because a lot of men, the minute you talk about money and finances, people start turning their heads or their backs, because
True.
it's an uncomfortable conversation to have.
True.
Men's egos are driven by how much money they have, and we know there is effect. And of course, there's pressure on the men when it comes to
True.
finances. How are you finding it navigating this life as a man and having to deal with the realities of being financially okay?
You know, TT, we live in an unfortunate time in our lives where we have forgotten the culture of looking out for each other as men financially.
Yeah.
Don't call me and ask of my well-being when you know that 90% of our problems as men is finances.
Yeah.
Our wives have problems with, you know, our structures at home because of finances. Your wife goes and finds comfort somewhere else. It frustrates you, get depressed.
Yeah.
So I'm not perfect, but I chose not to get married at a young age because I'm still fighting financially myself.
Oh, I like that.
I'm not ready to, you know, to have kids yet. I'm not ready to have a wife and take on that responsibility until I say, okay, I'm earning a certain amount of money where I can, you know, say I can build a home and provide for this family. So
I love that.
Yeah, so I made that decision because I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid. You know, what's gonna happen?
But you know, offense that bare
yeah.
How clever because what clever so I appreciate the fact that you are honest with yourself and with your financial standing, and I think that's a conversation that most of us men don't like to have.
Sure.
To say, you know what, gents, I can't afford to come to this party. I can't afford to be part of this holiday trip that you guys are planning. You know? Instead, I get no man. I'll get back to you. Okay. Well, why is it that when it comes to finances, we're not as much we're not open and honest. Open is one thing.
Yeah.
Honest is another.
Yeah. Pride is
You're
the first. Pride is the first demon we need to deal with when it comes to breaking that curse.
Right.
Right. The second one is that amongst a lot of the black community as MJITA, there's a lot of exploiters around.
Sure. And scammers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The exploiters, but exploit, right?
Yeah.
It's exploiting. So
sure.
We have situations where you've got and suppressors. So you're surrounded by people who can assist you,
but they won't. Or we can connect you, but they won't.
Or they'll use you for what, you know, whatever your skill is.
Right.
And not because you want to keep them around, they might provide you with certain tools to keep you afloat. You keep them around. So sometimes you're afraid to say, hey, let me not go to TT's event because voucher leave it on.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pop up at your event and I'm gonna come to you. You know what? We need to break the curse of pride because it's gonna stop us from asking questions and coming to platforms that you're providing and say, guys, I need assistance with 1, 2, 3. Can you help me?
Sure.
I
like that.
We need to introspect. Yeah.
I like that. And what I like the most about you, and I've seen it in the Act Now group, more or less in the AMATYMA. You don't say much in the AMATYMA group. I don't know why. What's wrong with us? You don't say much, but you call people out and you say it like it is. How are you finding that as a young person? You're challenging certain men who are older than you, who've got this perception in their minds that because you are older, you're wiser. You're not gonna listen to Ndoana and all of that. How do you navigate through that? Because I've seen you. You call a spade for what it is.
I think I was raised that way. Background is very important. That's a hostel.
Sure.
I would advise fathers of young men, take your kids to good boarding schools.
Right.
So I was trained from a very young age to stand up for myself, you know?
Yeah.
I was trained not to allow a person, if I feel like, no, but what you're saying doesn't make sense, obviously there's timing. Of course. Respect comes first.
There's a line.
There's a line, yes. But if the conversation is open, right, and it's right there, and an elder is saying something that you feel like you disagree with, I think that platform is there for you to engage.
Absolutely.
And if you feel like the person is wrong, engage that.
Absolutely. And,
right?
and dig in.
And dig in, because at the end of the day, we do apologize to one another and I say, okay guys, no, I think I was wrong here.
And you concede when you have to, right?
Yes.
And I think for me, the biggest lesson with that is learning to know when to agree and when to disagree, but have respect at the center of it all. So I look at you, you're younger than me, but we've had some disagreements and differences of opinion, but it doesn't mean that because I'm older than you that my opinion is more important than yours. And I think that's a mistake that most parents do, especially dads. You know, they don't want to give their sons an opinion because what I say goes. How's your relationship? First of all, is your father still alive?
My dad passed on in 2013. Yeah.
May his soul rest in peace, man.
Thank you.
My
Yeah.
condolences.
Thank
How was the relationship with your dad?
I was raised by my mother.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew my dad. Shout out to my dad for being there for me growing up. But I was raised by my mother. So
Right.
my mother and a younger sister.
Sure.
In a way, it's like you and your two daughters. Just
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was raised by mainly females because I've got more sisters as well
Then.
Yeah.
So how come? Do you wanna talk to? Are you comfortable to share about why
Yeah.
your dad was not in
Yeah, no,
present in your life?
definitely, definitely. My dad was married when he met my mom.
So okay.
Yeah.
Your dad was married to someone else.
Yes.
When he met your
to
mom.
to my other mother. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He
You're
was married.
confusing me now. Your other mother.
Yeah, she's my mom. He married her and his son. She's my mom. She's my
I'm a non-confuser.
Oh,
Your dad.
straight up,
Am
yeah.
I missing it? Am I not understanding? I'm lost.
Stepmom.
She's my stepmom.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we don't have stepmom in culture.
yeah,
We
no,
don't
I
have
get
culture.
that. So your dad
Yeah.
was married to someone else.
Yes.
When
When
you
you
were
met my mom. He
or
was
when
married
you-
with 4 kids.
right,
Were there 4? No. 3 kids.
right,
Right? And then
and you were number 4.
he went to go lie to my mother, guy, and said he's single. And then
Oh,
had me.
okay. Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I was confused about. So
Yeah.
your dad was married to
Assist
someone
him,
else,
no, yeah.
and then he had a girlfriend.
Yes.
And
yes.
that girlfriend happens to be your mom.
My mom,
But he
yeah.
didn't declare to your mom that he's
Yes.
married. I'm
Yes.
not losing my mind. Man, Robert, stop making me feel like I'm not okay, man. Oh,
No, but
and
then
also remember
I
we
didn't
do-
put it properly. So
yeah, and we need to give context to whoever's watching this so that they can
Yeah.
understand the backstory. So
Sure.
okay, cool. So how did that affect your relationship or the lack of what was the lack of relationship with your dad because he was married and had his own family unit?
No, not at all.
Okay.
My mom made sure I had a relationship with my father because my father wanted me to be there.
Oh, okay.
So I was raised in 2 homes with my dad's kids. So eventually, my dad's wife accepted me.
right.
But
How old were you when that happened?
I was very young. I think from 5 or 6.
Okay.
I've known my father and my siblings, his kids, since I was very young until
Right.
today. Yeah. we're very close.
Why do you refer to them as his kids and not your siblings? Or
So
your
that you
brothers
can
and sisters?
understand and you don't have.
Oh, confused.
don't
Also,
get confused
slow.
again. You're gonna dumb it down a little bit for this one.
Curtain raised. All right. So
Yeah.
your mom has you've got a sister,
Yes. I've
but
got
a
younger
different father.
Yes, different father.
Different father.
Yeah.
So what is the greatest lesson that you've learned over time about being in a is it called a nuclear family? Is that the word? Where you are not part of the
Okay.
the biological family
Yeah.
set up, but you are there.
Yeah.
How was the transition? So when you were introduced to your brothers and sisters
Yeah.
on the other side,
Yeah.
who did that? Was it your dad who introduced you guys?
It was
What was the
my-
first time?
It was my dad.
How
It was
did that
my
happen? You
father.
just went to his
But
house?
This is the weirdest part. My dad and his best friend
Right.
stayed opposite each other.
Okay.
So my dad's best friend, his wife, was my mother's best friend.
Hey, banna.
One, two.
Banna.
So I met my siblings first before my dad. I didn't even know my dad stayed opposite.
Oh, I see. You met your siblings as bana badlalang kokasi or
Yes,
take
yes.
opposite vibes.
Yes.
Sure.
yes.
And you didn't know that those are your siblings.
We had a conversation about, remember, I go to my father's a what, my father's a magistrate, na papa ka watu, papa di titimba, pink, you know, stuff like that.
Ah, but why?
You know those
You know I can
games-
cut this whole conversation. This guy is telling you about pink shirts.
Okay, hold on. But you know those, because
Yeah,
this is very
no, I get
important,
you, I
right?
get
You're a
you.
very unique, distinctive gentleman, right?
Absolutely.
So if you have other kids somewhere else,
Yeah,
né?
yeah.
And they were identifying TT
Yeah.
And-
I thought this guy like a pink shirt.
and said, no, my father's
Yeah,
stylish,
no, I
no,
get it.
like
No, I
the
get
short
it.
suits and what.
But you want to know.
No,
actually.
but hear this
No, but I
out.
get you.
What are the chances of that in Johannesburg?
Yeah, true.
And then what? No, my
True.
father also. No, not my dad.
No, true.
My dad too. It happened like that, and then we had a fight. I punched my.
You guys actually had a fight?
Yeah.
Because you was describing your dad and you felt
We
like,
were
how can you
kids.
describe my dad
We were
like
kids.
that?
We were kids.
Sure.
So one somebody got a young,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and then yeah, apparently one of my aunts came and called my father.
Sure.
Bana bakeba,
Balwan.
balwana.
And abaitsi gore
On
they
that-
are yours.
On that same day, my dad took me and introduced me to his wife.
After the
and
fight?
the kids. On that same day, yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And how was that?
I was just playing with my siblings, not knowing them my siblings.
Sure.
And then, you know, yeah, my father's a what thing came out. I won't forget that, yeah.
Yeah, I know, no, I won't forget it either. I mean, the pink shirt, who would forget that? So he takes you into the house.
Yes.
Just paint the picture. Then he sits all of you guys down.
Him and his best friend, his best friend took me into the house with my dad. And
Right.
it was just the two of us.
Right.
My father and
The best friend.
yeah.
Right. And the son. Your brother.
No. My siblings were not there.
Oh, they were not there. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm sure they were asking themselves,
What's going on?
Why is this guy coming to our home?
Yeah.
Why are we not supposed
Especially
to?
after the fight.
Yeah, they brought the mother in, Mama Mary. Yeah, so they brought her in, and I was introduced to her. But I think she's always known about me.
Right.
Yeah, because that was just random.
Yeah.
Because she was very accepting of me, and funny enough, on that same day I slept over. There.
On the same day of the fight.
Yeah,
Hey, that fight was
yeah.
supposed to happen. Ramos.
But you know about the. I mean, you can't
Yeah, it's
control.
bigger- yeah, it's
Real
bigger
talk.
than-
Yeah,
yeah,
I
no,
mean
true.
that was very awkward.
Very
I slept over there, and then I had an older brother. I
Right.
have an older brother, so
Right.
I got two. One passed away, unfortunately. But
Okay.
the other one, Andy, he's the one that introduced me properly to everyone in Tech.
But who did you have a fight with? Kostrate.
My younger sister.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kan you kurang mayan? Like
Don't
with
put
a
it in the matata.
with a fear go, can you fighting
This
with
is
a
an
girl?
honest platform. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I punched
Shout
my
out.
younger sister. I was 5 years old.
Sure, you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah, I was 5 years old.
Sure.
That's another thing. I grew up with anger issues, so
Right.
there's issues that probably still affect me today from back then.
Right.
Like anger is a problem that we have as men, but we don't talk about Huruditaka.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
It's
realized
childhood
that.
traumas.
I realized that now on your show,
Sure.
but I think that's called epiphany.
Epiphany, yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
At 5 years old, I don't see I'm punching a girl
Yeah.
at 5 years
Yeah,
old.
and
Where
where
does
did
it come
you,
from?
but
Yeah.
exactly, where did you take that? What is
Exactly,
your point
yeah.
of reference? What did you see? Is it a movie? Is it what you saw in real life? I mean, for you to be able to make that decision, I mean, you're a child, yes, we get that,
Yeah.
but you must have seen it somewhere.
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know,
And
but
how's your relationship with your sister now?
I haven't been to therapy. No, we best
You guys
friends.
are good.
man.
You're best friends.
we
Does,
best
does, she,
friends, yeah.
does she remember the ordeal?
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. Like, yeah.
Right.
When I'm abusive.
You punched me when?
Yeah, I'm not abusive. What are you talking about?
To get up baby shake my tala, no, but shout out to you for being honest about it, you know. And can you see how powerful this type of format is, where it's unscripted? I didn't even know what we were going to talk about, right?
Sure.
The problem with having topics is that you come overly prepared.
Yeah.
You come there knowing, I must make sure that I speak to TTL, make sure that I sell this.
Yeah,
And this is not what it's about. It's really about these frank conversations that we're having. So, if there's anything that you'd like to say to your dad in his late state, that you never got a chance to say
Sure.
when he was still alive,
Yeah.
what would that be?
Kopa chalele. Yeah,
And that's
money's
honest.
important.
And that's honest.
Money is important, guys. Don't, there's one thing that we need to not shy away from is the power of money.
Yeah.
We need money.
Sure.
If I had an opportunity to raise 100 million rand,
You would do it.
right, and you needed 10 bar
Right.
for something like this platform, the platforms that you have.
Which we do need, by the way. We do need
Oh,
people
yeah.
to pay for us to produce the show.
Yeah.
You know, there's a force behind all of this, and
Yeah.
people just think, this is just another podcast. You know, because there's so many of them.
We're multiplied by finances.
Sure.
So if I invest in you, look, I believe there's a system that the Jews have properly that we don't understand, right?
Yeah.
Multiply 10 people, you're investing in them. If you keep all the wealth to yourself, you're investing in yourself. If anything happens to you, what happens to the estate? Right? It gets distributed to your kids some of them might not even have the necessary skills to be able to multiply their own family.
They'll chow it.
You know, there's a lot of situations like
Yeah.
that. In Santon, you find young kids who are just a mess.
Yeah.
You know, and
Substance abuse, drugs,
yes,
all of that.
Yeah. So if my father would have taught me the skills of financial intelligence from a young age,
Sure.
coming from my father, because I feared him, I would have listened to him and respected that. I would be properly skilled today
Shout out,
to
man.
multiply other people. Yeah.
But shout out to that, because I think what I've also noticed in your conversations with us in the group is, guys, please let's support each other. Guys, if you've got a connect or a link to someone, don't hold, man. This thing of
Yeah.
people hogging context for me, doesn't make sense. You know, if
I understand why people reserve themselves from assisting others.
what do you think? What do you think is the issue?
I mean, the sensitivity around the businesses that most of the people do, right? So if
you'll be exposed.
yeah, so if I say, please introduce me to somebody in a certain position somewhere, I've got this presentation I want to present to them.
Yeah.
That somebody's already a sensitive individual to this person.
Oh, I see.
Or what?
I see. So they try to protect.
Yeah. So also
whatever happens behind the scenes.
Yeah. You know. So, but that's what we need to understand, that not everybody's out to get everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to empower a person. I mean, with the business that I do, there's opportunity for everybody to eat.
Absolutely.
I mean,
it's a no-brainer.
I want to challenge you actually on
your
show.
Go for it.
You have a network of individuals who have a certain business.
Right.
Businesses actually.
Yeah.
Right? Most of them work with government.
Yeah.
I'm in pure funding.
Right.
Referrals get paid. So if you
so I'm gonna get paid if I refer you?
100%.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, that's
okay.
10%. It's
10% of what? Of the value of the project, of the value of the loan?
Of the interest.
Of the interest?
Yes.
Okay, I like that.
10% of the interest. So that motivates you to go and say, if I bring 5 guys who've got 100 million or 10 million projects each, and we charge them 15%, 10% of that 15%, you get empowered to go and bring business, right?
Sure.
So if
and it doesn't cost me a cent.
Nothing.
It's a phone call.
It's a referral. So there's value in that.
I like that.
So little now when you go looking for opportunities, we should understand our own values first. And what are we presenting? Instead of saying Kekopa, what am I bringing to the table?
Sure.
So that's the first principle we need to understand when asking for something. Yeah.
I like that. And what you're bringing to the table is actually an opportunity for anyone who's got something up there.
100%, yeah.
Because for me to say, you know what, I've got access to these guys that are always tendering, and I know that their biggest struggle is to break ground because they don't have the finances. I'm already providing them a solution.
Or they're overcommitted
on other projects, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, it doesn't cost me anything to connect you, and on the back end, I'm making my little bit that I can help to raise my kids.
True.
That's what it's about.
True.
Sure. Tell me, when it comes to financial literacy and wellness of the man, why is it that, you know, and I've seen this with the many conferences that we've hosted as the AMATYMA Wellness Network, I'd say, gents, anyone who doesn't have a will, please stand up. 90% of the room will stand up. Guys don't have wills. Do you think it's necessary to have a will?
I think it's important. My dad died. My dad was a senior magistrate. He died without a will.
Sure.
And I don't understand that. We're still confused until
like
today.
It's like a man like who understands the law should have known better, right?
Yeah. I don't know why he did that. But you see the platform that you provided and asked that question.
Yeah.
The most important thing of the room on that day was what you said after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you could have empowered 90% of the room to be financially responsible now and start having wills. A lot of our people are not literate because there's no platforms like yours that discuss such issues.
And educate the men about the importance of such things.
And saving as well, you know? So I think literacy is platforms that we learn and engage in conversations and talking about things.
Yeah.
And then I think it's important for everyone to have a will. There should be a will. There should be a savings. And trust is important as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we see cases and stories of black families fighting for a house,
estate. Yeah.
A house. Yeah. 50-year-old man saying, "Go am like gigit la, go mama," and you're like, "But you're 50, bro. Like, why would you?"
We had a similar case within my own family where my great aunt passed on, and then the husband passed on. And then they had grandchildren, but they also had a son.
Sure.
Ne? Now the son was fighting for the house with the grandchildren.
Yeah.
So the grandchildren are entitled to the estate.
Yeah.
Right? He killed himself. He committed suicide.
Sure.
Because of
entitlement.
Because of the entitlement.
Entitlement. He was waiting in line.
Yeah, he had already told, and this happens a lot in a lot of like rural communities.
That's true.
He killed himself for a 4-bedroom house, like not even a 4-bedroom, 4-room house.
Sure.
And that touched me so much. Why didn't Baholo, have a structure in the household? Because not everyone is going to be successful and have a job at home, right?
It can't be.
So the other kids have passed on, the whole family has passed on. You're fighting with your own nieces and nephews and he killed himself. I mean, that's crazy.
That is sad.
Yeah. So these structures are very important to avoid mental health
Yeah.
issues like that drive a person insane, fighting over any state.
And suicide is something that we need to talk about, because apparently the highest number of suicide cases are amongst men, and that's a fact. Those are the stats. Before I let you go, offense, gender-based violence. I know you are passionate about this particular subject because it's a pandemic. It's an unacceptable social ill that we find ourselves in. What's your take on gender-based violence?
Hey, that topic is very sensitive because what I say shall be held against me.
Of course it will be.
Choose my words carefully. Gender-based violence needs to be invested into more on. We need to have innovation in these structures, TT. I think we're not doing enough. I think hiking and doing trips and just talking is not enough.
Sure.
How do we stop it? How do we stop it? Like we cannot stop a woman from getting attacked somewhere, getting raped or stabbed somewhere by having a conversation with men. We need to equip women with resources and technology that can prevent them from being attacked. I was talking to somebody in the group the other day.
Yeah, I saw that back up. About that back and forth. Please just talk about this quickly. Yeah.
I posted about this technology called rape packs that women, I think, they insert inside of them. It's like a tampon, basically. Sure. So if a man tries to penetrate her without her wanting, it clips onto the guy. It hurts the person. Right. And the other gentleman in the group said we shouldn't be talking about these things.
I saw that.
We need to, but I said no, but we need to resist. Yeah. It's one thing having conversation, but let's have innovations, manufacture things, let the government get involved. Yeah. Have technology, man, that can solutions. Resist. Yes. Yeah. Teach women how to do self-defense. Teach women how to use guns.
Absolutely.
We need to have a no-nonsense approach towards gender-based violence. I 100%
agree with you. And then people will say, no, but you're promoting violence. But we're already living in that's why it's called gender-based violence. Like, hello.
It's violent already. So what? You're going to teach a monkey how to swing on trees in a jungle when there's already lions waiting for it to drop. Yeah. If you swing, you're not going to fight against the lion unless if you're equipped with the resource to kill a lion.
Sure. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I want to ask a question.
Yeah, go for it. Come.
Should we not? Should the directory not be to, as opposed to?
But you need to see your face, my man.
I know they know my voice. They know my voice. They know me.
Oh, they know you. Oh, hey, it's famous, this one.
As opposed to educate, as opposed to combating or rather equipping women, are we not supposed to now educate men? I feel like what we always tend to do is we always go to the secondary problem as opposed to the primary problem. Sure. We say gender-based violence, but we forget that violence is violence. Yeah, so if we stop violence, it will not lead to gender-based violence. Should the narrative not be to how do we put men in a room and tell them, listen, this what you're doing it's unjust.
Calling each other out?
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Apartheid wasn't ended by conversations. We had to fight.
Sure.
So let's equip women with resources and help teach them how to fight.
Yeah. Maybe they know how to listen.
Let's create innovation out there. These necklaces that I see online, when you press it hard enough, it sends a location to like the nearest police station. It sends a GPS. So if the woman feels in trouble, she can just press that item, and people around are able
react
to see,
and respond. Yeah.
Instant responses, right? It's one thing to have conversations. It's one thing to equip the room with tools and resources to fight against a problem that even the person you're talking to can go and slap and kill his wife tomorrow. Even after having the conversation, it's not enough. Equip them.
True. And what you're saying is quite important. We once hosted this event on Father's Day for about 200 men, and one of the things that we did was do a pledge, a gender-based violence pledge, and we gave men hashtag no excuse against gender-based violence rings, and it was so beautiful to watch men putting those rings on. But later on, you have a story of a guy who actually slapped his wife the very same night. And for me, it's like, you're right in what you're saying. We need to equip ourselves with tools. And yes, we need to have the conversations, because if we don't, then what are we talking about amongst ourselves?
I wanted to ask, who's talking to the women?
Sure.
We have a lot of platforms for men, but who's talking to the women?
We actually have more platforms for women than men.
There's conversations where we need to have both men and women.
And that's what we want to do.
I think
we want to bridge that gap.
That's the most important room that we need to be in, right?
Yeah, but you see, my argument there is that we need to fix ourselves first. We're not ready to have the conversation with those women because we're not even comfortable enough to share our own journeys and stories. And you see it in the AMATYMA Telegram group. A lot of guys are observing. They're bystanders in the group. There's 1,040 men in there, but you'll find 10 or 15 that are, you know, contributing to the conversation, and you ask yourself, where's the rest? Are they just joining the group just to observe? And again, you cannot force people to participate. But for me, the issue is that why are you in that group if you're not going to participate?
The rings that you gave to the men who made a pledge.
Yeah.
If you would have given those rings to women, and those rings had a security system,
I got you.
a sensor,
I got
there
you.
would have been a constructive. That's what I mean by who's talking to women.
No, I got you.
You see, so
I got you.
it's one. You talk to a woman today about something so simple in your household. Tomorrow she does the same thing again. She's a woman, right?
You're gonna get into trouble for that.
Let me get into trouble. Let's have this conversation.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's have them. Yeah. Let's have them. So it's equip women with those resources to fend against themselves.
Sure.
Men are not going to listen. When you piss off a guy with a short temper, he might be a good guy today. Because I don't want to step on his shoe.
Yeah.
He's going to punch you because his first reaction is to punch. Either way.
That's all he knows.
That's all he knows.
True.
His intentions are good.
Sure.
Most of the guys that are in prison today for gender-based crimes didn't intentionally put themselves in the situations.
Oh. A guy who's in there for rape.
No. Hear me out.
Said most.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
I'm not saying convicted criminals who intentionally killed.
Okay.
I'm talking about a person who made a mistake.
Right.
Right?
What kind of mistake are you referring to?
Okay, let's talk about if your woman pushes you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you instantly react by trying to hold her, and as long as you didn't intend to kill her.
Yeah.
Right? But it's you've done harm.
Right.
Right?
I don't take that as a mistake. I don't take that as I disagree. I don't take that as a mistake because the fact that you responded the way you responded means it was probably premeditated.
No.
Think about it.
Let's draw the situation.
Okay.
We need to draw the story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You walk into your household, maybe your wife is drunk or your girlfriend is drunk.
Okay.
You're fine, what's up, when? Or whatever she's pissed off at.
Yeah.
She starts attacking you.
Right.
Right? Are you
Attacking you verbally?
No, physically.
Okay.
Right? So you can't just stand there. Obviously, you're not going to be violent.
Yeah.
You're trying to compose her.
Right.
Right? And as you're trying to compose her, you're moving her
then
away.
something happens.
Happens to her.
Okay.
That's not premeditated.
Right. Okay, I hear you.
It's a mistake. You didn't intentionally.
But you have to prove that it's a mistake.
Okay,
because now you can't prove that it's a mistake.
That's in court. That's something else.
Yeah.
You're discussing the situation in real time.
Right.
When it happens.
Right.
And then you go to jail because you couldn't prove a mistake.
Sure.
Right? And you go to jail for that.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough conversation. I knew it was gonna be like this with you, man. You need to come back, bro. And the things about the show is that we don't want to have once-off guests. There's so much to talk about, and I agree with you. We need to come up with solutions. We need to create tools that are going to solve a lot of these societal issues that men are faced with. But I think having conversations also helps. I've learned a lot from you, and I didn't expect that this conversation would take such a turn, and that's what it's about, you know.
Sure, thank you.
We keep it open. You're off to Cape Town. When are you back? I need you back on the show.
No, I'm back.
I thought you were based in Cape Town.
No, I'm not saying I'm back full time.
I'm
in between Cape and Joburg, yeah.
Okay. And good luck with you and your plans. I know you'll make a great father, very
Thank you so much.
father, you know, and we need more men like you. And the reason why I brought you on is because, like I said earlier on, AMATYMA or fatherhood is not about biology. You are an uncle to your nieces and nephews. That makes you a father figure by virtue of that, and you are fulfilling your role as an uncle to them, you know, and obviously I'm sure you want the best for them, and you want them when they look at you to see a father figure in you, and that's what it's about. Thank you, my brother.
Thank you so much. Appreciate this, man. Thank you.
Another great episode, AMATYMA series. Danko.
Hola.
Take a picture, bro.